as we've touched on, Jake White was seen as a strong contender for the Wallaby job. Sean Maloney spent some time with Jake in Canberra this week and began by asking him how the last couple of weeks have unfolded.
I mean, the last 2 weeks, obviously, been a lot of hype about who's in, who's out, and obviously the Lion series with a lot of rugby hype in the country, as you know. And people then saying, you know, who's going to be the next coach, and as it's turned out now, Ewan's got the job, and I wish him all the best.
Did it catch you off guard, the support that you got from Australian rugby supporters?
Yeah, look, I think that, you know, I mean, the one nice thing about it is I've been really sort of touched by the people in Canberra especially, because they're really over the moon about the fact that I'm staying here, which is also quite nice to know that you've got the support. But yeah, I mean, you know, Australians love their sport, and I think at the end of the day, you know, they want to make sure that they want to win, and that's part of their culture, it's part of the way they grow up. And as I said, you know, Ewan's been there, he's done it, he's had a successful campaign, he's played for Australia, he's won a World Cup, so, you know, I've no doubt that Ewan's going to do a good job.
Were you kept in the loop as to what way they were going? I mean, at what point were you dealt that call?
Again, I think they were so tough on ARU and on Bill especially. You know, there's a campaign going on, and, you know, Sean, you know, you were part of it. That Lion series is massive around the world, and especially in Australia, you know, and I don't think that Bill at any time wanted to latch on to anybody or give any sort of leeway to anybody in terms of what was happening, what should be happening. I mean, it would be unfair on the team and on Robbie in terms of what was unfolding in those 3 tests. So, yeah, I mean, the first time I found out that they had made a decision was, you know, when it came out, and I can appreciate why it happened like that.
Why do you think it happened like that as far as them going that way with Ewan?
Look, as I said, he's played for Australia. I think let's be quite honest and say that, you know, he understands the culture, he's been in it, he's been part of a successful Australian team, and you know, he's probably ticked the boxes in terms of what they were looking for. So, you know, someone's got to lose out in those campaigns. It's, you know, as a coach, you spend a lot of your time telling boys who's in and who out, and that's not always the nice part of it, but you expect players to be positive and lift their chins and get on with the job. So, you know, as a coach going through the same thing, you just got to make sure you pick your head up and move on.
Depending on what happens this week in terms of other results with the Chiefs and the Bulls, if you bag the bonus point try in Perth, you can finish top for the time being anyway. We'll just be all out attack this weekend from the get-go.
Well, maybe that's the way forward for Australian rugby, you know, Sean. Maybe we've got to just go full go from now on in, you know. From now until the end of my tenure, we're just going to run from everywhere, you know. And but yeah, I mean, look, I don't think we're quite fortunate that we're playing in Perth, and what I mean by that is the time zones are so different. We'll know exactly what's expected from us by the time we run out the tunnel, you know. And if it means we've got to get 5 points, then we're going to have to play like that. And that's what's so nice about it. We've got our own destiny in our own hands.
Just lastly, mate, as I said earlier, you've been really well liked since coming to Australia and calling Canberra home. You're not going to run off and leave us, are you?
No, mate. No, I'm an Aussie, mate.